something? I was in the mid-stretch.
I know, that's why it was fun. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome. Morning. Top of the morning. Sorry, nope. Josh is looking pensive. Welcome to Start to a Different Day. He's really second guessing my his choice of me being here right now. Good morning, Gemmo. Howdy. It is Saturday, December 5th. That means there are 20 days until Christmas. I'm going to be your official Christmas countdown, much to Josh's chagrin. Although we all know it's his favorite holiday, secretly.
I don't know why Josh doesn't like Christmas.
Because he's a Scrooge and a Grinch and a heat miser and all of the.
When you work at Hallmark for 2.5 years and they play Christmas music 8 months out of the year, you learn to hate it really quickly.
Yeah, but you don't work there anymore. So
not anymore, sure.
You need to.
But I've clearly been traumatized for life. So
your heart clearly hasn't grown back.
That's right.
It's been dead for years.
I was going to say it's still 2 sizes too small.
If Josh saw Bing Crosby walking down the street, he'd have a heart attack.
Josh probably wouldn't know who Bing Crosby was.
Nor would I, but isn't he dead? So I think we would all have a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'd all kind of freak out.
Listen, guys, he's just an iconic Christmas singer. So, first one that popped into my head.
There you go.
It's like seeing Frank Sinatra walk down the street.
There's only one iconic Christmas singer of our generation.
Michael
Carey.
Hot take, Michael.
Until she tries to sing live, and then she's just a drunken hot mess.
Yep.
Hot take. Michael Bublé's "All I Want for Christmas" is better than Mariah Carey's. Let's move on.
Hot take. Michael
that is
Bublé
definitely a hot take.
Baby is like, oh, okay, no.
Let's move on.
Moving on.
I actively avoid Christmas music.
Yeah.
I was listening to Christmas music before we went live, and the boys muted me. And then I unmuted myself.
No. Josh muted you. I don't want to be in this conversation. Let's just get that straight. Yes.
Well, you know what, Joe? I'm going to pull you into this conversation.
No.
Because some people got hurt this week.
Yeah. I mean, every week.
About them.
Yeah. I was like, some people are breathing every week. It's just a normal thing, apparently, in the NFL. So, for week 13... Auden Tate and Robert Griffin III, they are on separate teams, but they're both going to IR. Lamar Jackson should clear the COVID IR by tomorrow, but if not, the GOAT, Trace McSorley, is about to get his first start in the NFL, and he's about to destroy the Dallas Cowboys. So be on the lookout for that. Matt Breida also to the COVID IR. You didn't have him on your team, but that's one less Miami running back.
Yeah.
And Gemmo, no, Lamar isn't out as of right now. He's still technically on the COVID IR list, but he is supposed to get off of that list tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's the first day he's eligible is tomorrow.
Also, if you have Lamar, go pick up Trace McSorley, because if Lamar doesn't start, McSorley will have a top 15 performance. The Cowboys suck.
Yeah, and he'll make Hollywood or Marquise Brown relevant.
Yeah.
And you'll know that the game is actually going to be played because clearly they're just not postponing games.
Yeah, no, they're done with that the rest of the season.
Yeah.
But Matt Breida on the COVID IR, again, you didn't have him, but Gaskin should be activated today, so keep your eye out for that. They are playing the Bengals, so Gaskin does have a great matchup. And Gemmo says he has McSorley, Mitch, and Lamar. Honestly, I would start Trubisky.
Yeah.
He balls out.
Yeah. He has 3 touchdowns each of the last 4 games he's played the Detroit Lions, so he should ball out. And then Denzel Ward is out. You obviously don't have Denzel Ward in your fantasy team, but you probably do have A.J. Brown, who will most likely now destroy that Cleveland Browns defense. Already played well last week against a great Colts defense that has been good all season. And now Denzel Ward's out. Cleveland does have a great defense. They will get Myles Garrett back, but A.J. Brown will still get his and will be good enough to start. Now, to the questionable tags, how many do we have? I don't know. We don't number the list. It's just bullet points. But there's a lot, I can tell you that. All right, so at quarterback, Matt Stafford, Tua Tagovailoa, Cam Newton. Let's pray to God he doesn't play.
And
Nick Foles. Can't wait. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Swift, Todd Gurley, Phillip Lindsay, Carlos Hyde are your running backs on the questionable tag. Julio Jones, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, Chris Conley, and Jerry Jeudy, all questionable at the receiver position. Doubtful, Daniel Jones, he's not going to play. He was downgraded from questionable to doubtful, I believe, yesterday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Salvin Ahmed, doubtful, and DeAndre Washington, doubtful. So you have Breda, who's on the COVID IR, Ahmed and Washington, who are doubtful, and they all play for the Miami Dolphins.
Yep, it's a mess.
It is a mess there. Out, Josh Jacobs. He hadn't practiced all week, so they just downgraded him to out. Kenny Galladay, Jonnu Smith, so I get a tie for one of my downsides this week. And Irv Smith, who you also probably don't have.
Yeah, it helps Kyle Rudolph greatly, though. Rudolph's been eating the last 2 games with Irv Smith out. So
I had to bench
Well, he
Irv
ate
Smith
last week because Adam Thielen
that's
was
true.
out.
And they're
That was
playing.
the only game he's top 10 fantasy points this year. So
Didn't he score a touchdown the week before, too, with Irv out, though? I might be wrong.
maybe, but as I said, it's the only week. Last week was when he topped
Yeah.
10 points. That's what we look for from a tight end. So
They're playing Jacksonville, correct?
mhm.
Yeah, I think Kyle Rudolph is good for a touchdown. Kyle Rudolph's probably going to finish inside the top 12 of tight ends, but he's going to finish with like 7 or 8 points. But for us, that's not considered a win. We want to guess into the double digits because at this point, who can really count 7 points as a win in fantasy football? It looks good for you and your team because obviously you picked a top 12 starting tight end. But if they're scoring 7 points, you look at that and say, what the hell? Like, this guy should be playing better. But, I mean, if you're getting 7 points out of Kyle Rudolph, who's been washed up since 2016, you know, you're doing well for yourself. And that is everything. No Thursday game this week. So, Faith, back to you for à la questions.
À la question. Parlez-vous français?
Nope.
On peut.
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
That's
so
French, right?
That's Spanish, actually.
That's Spanish.
Guys, I know I'm not that stupid.
I was gonna say, y'all, he actually knows
I
that.
got a 99 in Spanish 1, guys. I'm not that stupid. Okay.
On one test, or
No, my final. 99 in Spanish 1, 79 in Spanish 2. I figured if I kept dropping 20 points, I was going to fail Spanish 3, so I stopped. I shit you not, that was my logic. I shit you not, that was my actual logic. There were 2 things. 1, didn't want to take Spanish again because I filled my world language requirements. 2, I realized if I kept dropping 20 points, I would fail Spanish 3. So what was the point? Tell me what's
20
wrong
of
with that
them.
logic. Tell me what's wrong with that logic.
it wasn't 1 point, it was 20 of them.
It's a lot of points.
Tell me what's wrong. I'm saying that's perfectly sound logic in my opinion.
Brief question. Josh, pay attention to us.
He's got
I'm
it.
listening.
Yeah, he's tweeting about how good my blurred lines picks have been. So,
There you go.
It's very rare when I give Joe compliments. So
dude, I've
We
been
know.
crushing it
yeah,
this year. Yeah,
Joe, your humility. It's
I,
just
the 2 guys, the Basement Boys, self-proclaimed most humble man in the world.
That's right.
Mhm. The basement boys.
Yeah,
Hashtag most humble.
yeah.
Hashtag humble brag. Josh, do you know any Spanish?
un poquito.
Un poquito.
Un poquito and his mom.
Does your mother ever yell at you in Spanish?
No,
Did she?
She knows
No.
better.
She knows
no. Well, because when I was growing up, we lived up in Jersey, and
Joyzy.
she didn't really speak a lot of Spanish when we were up there because she didn't have any friends or anything up there that spoke Spanish.
Gotcha.
So I think part of it, that's why I don't know Spanish, because instead of using me to talk Spanish to, and, you know, get me to learn it, she was just like, oh, I'll just speak English. That was that. So
The way
yeah.
you started this,
Gotcha.
instead of using me to speak Spanish, sounded like she stuck Josh in front of people who spoke Spanish.
Right?
Said,
Little ventriloquist dummy.
said, speak.
Hey, you called yourself the dummy, not us.
Hey, I'm
I didn't know-
not very humble. I'm self-deprecating all the way. So
So our buddy Sean is here as per the usual.
What's
Sean,
up, Sean? Good
number 1
morning.
in our hearts.
That's
So Josh Allen or Justin Herbert?
We never get this question from Sean.
I know, right?
This week. This week.
Alan.
well, I love it because we told him on Wednesday, ask us again Saturday to see if our opinions change.
Yeah.
So what did you hold on? What did you say Wednesday?
I think we were all kind of split down the middle. Like half of us said Allen, half of us said Herbert.
I'm staying Allen. So I have Herbert as my downside. Again, I think Allen doesn't do much better, but he does better.
I recently updated my stats, and Herbert overtook Allen, so I'm going Herbert.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Herbert. Again, I think it's close. I don't think either really explode this week, but Herbert to me has been the most consistent, so I'll trust the consistency, even if it's QB 12 this week.
I think the linebackers in San Fran can contain Allen. I think that's going to be a big thing.
Okay, pick 4 of these 6 to start in a full PPR. Nick
boy.
Chubb, Kareem Hunt, James Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Devontae Booker, and Kenyon Drake.
The first 4.
I was going to say, first of all, I love when Sean puts like these huge questions up because it shows that we're giving him great advice because he has great players every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's no way in hell right now that you're benching Chubb, Robinson, or Gibson. So for me, it just boils down to, do you trust Kareem Hunt after a couple of down weeks? Do you really want to buy into a backup running back, even in a decent matchup, putting up solid numbers? Drake has been very touchdown reliant, and against the tough Rams front, do you want to bank on 30 yards and a touchdown? Because he's getting 30 yards. I don't think he's getting much more than that.
Yeah.
It all boils down to, is he scoring a touchdown? He has been more involved in the receiving game lately, which has been great. But for me, this is Kareem Hunt. You want to bank on that breakout.
Yeah, I love Hunt this week. And one thing Joe brings up often is the Raiders still aren't involving their running backs enough in the passing game. And if they weren't involving Josh Jacobs, you can't imagine that they're going to all of a sudden just throw to Devontae Booker more. You're going to likely see Jalen Richard more involved. So overall, while I do like Booker for 80 yards this week, if he doesn't score, that's still going to end up being a disappointment compared to those other 4 guys. So
Yeah, it's going to be Booker's going to go into the Josh Jacobs role, and then Jalen Richard's going to slide into the Devontae Booker role.
Just steal targets and ruin your fantasy day.
Exactly. So I would go Chubb, Hunt, and James Robinson along with Antonio Gibson. I've said before, I don't like Antonio Gibson's matchup. I don't like any running back against Pittsburgh. But if they're going to involve him on 60% of the plays, you can't sit him. Like you can't.
Completely
Yeah, we've
agree.
talked before that the Steelers can be had.
Yeah.
They can, but
Yeah, they're a bend don't break defense. So.
And they can be had through the air. We saw that out of Melvin Gordon earlier this season. And before, I mean, I was a huge proponent of J.D. McKissick. Gibson is cutting into McKissick's work too. They are relegating everybody behind Gibson. The biggest worry you have for Gibson is they seem to still like to bring Peyton Barber in inside that 5-yard line. And Gibson gets his too. It's just, is Peyton Barber going to accidentally fall into the end zone and ruin your fantasy day? So
yeah, I think Gibson counteracts. You know, he may miss a touchdown, but he counteracts with 5 catches anyway. So
it's big.
Yeah.
He's their second wide receiver. And Pittsburgh's great against the tight end as well. So that's going to hurt Logan Thomas.
Lamar is
answered-
out. 3 question marks.
Already answered that.
Not at all.
Okay, more Sean. In a super flex league, he had Teddy, I'm assuming Bridgewater, Matt Ryan, and Matty Stafford all year. The opportunity arose to get Tua as well as Fitzpatrick, so he jumped on it. But now he has a conundrum of who to drop, Bridgewater or Ryan.
You can
If
drop
it's super
Teddy.
flex, you keep all of them.
If you have to drop
What if you
somebody,
don't
Teddy's
have
on
any
bye
more
this
room
week.
on your
And
bench?
I would drop Teddy.
yeah, if you have to drop one of these guys, I'm fine with dropping Teddy. He's on bye this week, and you're probably not starting him in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, even so, you're gonna find out when Tua's back healthy, he's the starter. So once if he's not back this week, he'll be back next week. So at that point, then you just drop Fitzpatrick and pick up Teddy if he's still there.
Here's the real question. Do we want Tua in fantasy at this point this
No.
year?
This year,
No.
probably not.
So that's what I'm saying.
No,
Maybe he just doesn't go
they've
after
got
Tua.
they've got the training wheels on him. Like it's crazy. I
So
don't
the
understand
question
it.
Is it a dynasty super flex or is it just redraft?
Well, if it's Dynasty,
Sean's not in Dynasty. I know
Yeah,
he's not in
it's-
Dynasty.
what I would suggest is maybe don't go after Tua. You want Fitz. If Fitz plays, you want him, especially
He's
this
a
week
baller.
against Cincinnati. Revenge game, baby. But anyway,
That's half the league for
Wait,
him.
He played for the Bengals?
yeah.
Oh yeah, he played for the Bengals.
Dude, I'm too young. I don't remember that.
But I don't know
Played
that
for
you
the
want
Rams when
Tua
they were in St.
regardless.
Louis. Like he's gotten around, man.
I know we at one point lectured you about get every starting quarterback so nobody else can have them, but it sounds like your league just doesn't follow that creed where there should not be starting quarterbacks available, I think you're probably safe to drop Tua. You're probably safe to drop Tua and Teddy, but I might hold on to Teddy if I'm getting rid of Tua. So
I'd hold Teddy. Yeah, I hold Teddy.
Oh, that's so sweet of you.
Say it one more time. Maybe people in the back will laugh.
I laughed.
I laughed as well.
Boom.
Right.
Okay, would you play Booker over Drake in a
Yes.
full PPR
Yep.
and Gaskin over Hunt?
No.
No.
Yes, and then no.
Pretty simple there. I like Gaskin a lot this week, but if I'm choosing Gaskin over Hunt, no. I love Hunt this week and Booker over Drake. Booker's going to see at least the same volume as Drake with a higher probability of scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, and Booker has the better matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, it boils down to, for me, I think that Drake has the safer floor just because of overall usage, because we've seen it consistently, even in a tougher matchup. But if you're searching for that upside, I would absolutely go Booker simply because of the matchup.
And yeah, they've been really keeping Drake involved these last couple weeks, but I'm also worried that the wheels just fall off of that and they decide to go the other way again.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well happen. I mean, Joe's picking Arizona to cover the spread. So, I mean, if that's the case, Drake is going to be involved.
Yep.
So,
Well, no, but
I would say yes, because they need a running game to beat the Rams.
Now, but to go to the Gaskin Hunt, I
Kyler
think
Murray.
both Browns running backs score this week. I think Tennessee has allowed a half a touchdown receiving every game to running backs. In other words, it's a 50% chance that a receiving touchdown can happen. Kareem Hunt is on the better half of that 50% chance. So,
also for the record, I'm not picking the Cardinals to win. I'm picking them to cover.
That's what I said.
Okay, sorry.
I said cover. I didn't say win. I said cover.
Sorry, I was reading Chris Molina's tweet saying that the Rams have beaten the Cardinals 6 straight times, and I said they don't have to win. They just have to lose by less than 3 points. Just have to lose by less than 3 points. That's all that matters.
So, on a non-question related subject, we all know how much Joe and I love the Patriots. We all know how big of a fan of Tom Brady I was, but Tom Brady can go pound sand.
and don't start him this week.
Seriously? Like, are we really? I love Tom Brady. Left for Tampa Bay. No.
No, it has nothing to do with that, and everything to do with TB12 took like
I heard about
$1 in PPE money.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I mean, here's
hasn't made enough money.
the counter argument to that. Okay, as somebody that has a degree in business, right? Successful businesses don't invest all of their own money into it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. If you're willing to if you have the opportunity to take someone else's money to help your business succeed, that's how you keep your business afloat.
Oh yeah.
To ultimately succeed.
This goes back.
It's that simple. I'm not saying that what he did was right.
Yeah.
I'm saying that was the smart business move because he was afforded the opportunity to do that.
Well, it goes back to, this is years ago now, but when Kanye West was begging for money for his business, where he was a millionaire, but his business was going bankrupt. So.
Anyway, okay.
Next one is David. Our buddy Dave. From Face of the
Thank
Book.
you. I'm working on that. It
From
jumped.
the Face of the Book.
David's back with more Frank Gore questions.
Hi,
Yes,
Dave.
sir.
He needs 2. Gore, Booker, Gurley, David Johnson, and Le'Veon Bell, assuming CEH sits.
If CH sits, I'm
Bell.
playing Le'Veon Bell.
You have to play Lev
Yeah.
Bell if CEH is out.
That's a gimme if CH
And if-
sits.
Johnson is cleared because of their lack of wide receivers. I would have a hard time benching David Johnson this week as well. I know Indy is good, but this goes back to what we were talking about. His PPR
Volume.
floor, and it's insane.
Yeah, it's definitely volume with Johnson.
I'm not starting
again,
Gurley.
Don't
Yo,
love the
God,
matchup.
no.
I think
Gurley's dead.
Gurley's dead,
So,
and then
yeah.
outside of that, it would come down to Gore versus Booker. I mean, Gore had 20 touches last week.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I'm all
okay,
about
so,
Frank Gore.
so if
Yeah.
we take everybody in their exact situation that they're in right this second, I'm starting Gore and Booker. In fact, I am starting Gore and Booker in multiple leagues, more than I'd like
Correct.
to admit right now.
Yes.
Everyone in their current situation, I'm starting Gore and Booker. If David Johnson is cleared, he would make a push, but I think I would still stick with those two guys. But if CEH is out, Lev Bell is in, and I'm taking Gore out. I'm keeping Booker. So
If I told you to start the season in week 13, you would be starting Devontae Booker and Frank Gore over Todd Gurley, David Johnson, and Le'Veon Bell.
I'd probably tell you, all right, so I'm 4-8 at this point. Awesome, great.
Like that's incredible.
I'm going on a show with David next week, and his co-hosts were giving him a hard time about. I think it was starting Gore and Jordan Wilkins. I started both those guys in another league and won as well. It's just a weird end of the year.
So strange.
End of the year. It's a weird year.
Yeah, it's true.
No one in their right mind would have thought Frank Gore and Devontae Booker would be starting in week 13 for your fantasy team. It's crazy.
Yeah. Or that Christian McCaffrey's missed a good chunk of the season.
Well, he's been hurt. So
It's going to be crazy, those teams that have held on to Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler, because they're going to finally reap those rewards in the best time of the season, and it's going to be sweet for them.
I'm still not convinced that McCaffrey is going to come back and play. Like,
Probably
the
not.
Panthers have zero incentive to play him at this point. He's been hurt all year. They're not in the playoff hunt. Why risk it?
Yeah, there's no point for him to come.
Yeah, there's 0 point. So, like, you're holding on to this guy and praying that he plays, which, again, we know that if he plays, he's going to ball out.
Yep.
But it's like,
Yeah.
But there's no
Is
risk.
he?
Like, the risk doesn't outweigh the reward of
For
playing,
them, yeah.
possibly causing further injury.
yeah, I mean, you just signed him to a fat extension. Why risk it in meaningless games?
Yep, exactly. No need to.
Don't need to risk it for the
But we
benefit.
don't run the NFL team, so what the
Nope.
We know that-
We
we
should, because we
Right?
can probably do a better job for some of them. Fire Adam Gase.
Yeah.
Fire Adam Gase.
Football
Fire
team
Anthony
on.
Lynn.
Pick 2 wide
Pippen.
receivers. Michael Pittman Jr., Jamison Crowder, Darnell Mooney, Tim Patrick, Alan Lizard, or Jacoby Myers.
Instinct says Pittman and Crowder.
Yeah, I'm jumping on the
immediate
first two.
instinct. Damn. Lazard is interesting.
Yeah, I like his
because
matchup.
Philly
I just don't.
sucks.
Yeah, they're. I just think that his ceiling isn't as high.
No,
Like I
it's
don't
not.
think he's gonna have like a 6 for 100 type game,
He's-
but he
he's-
could easily have a stat line like last week, where
I
it's
think-
like
I
4
think-
for 35 and a touchdown.
I was going to say I think it was 4 for 50 and a touchdown.
No,
Which
he
is-
only had 23 yards last week.
No. I'm saying I think he goes 4 for 50 and a
Yeah,
touchdown.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think if you want to talk about, I think the best floor out of all these guys is Lazard, because he's probably guaranteed 6 or 7 targets. He'll catch 4 of them, and one of them is probably going to be in the end zone. There's your best floor. Upside, no question, are Pittman and Crowder. But then again, Crowder still has a great floor because Jamison Crowder is a slot slave.
He's looked terrible.
But you know what
the last
though?
couple weeks.
I was gonna say
Yes.
they've been throwing to Mims and Perriman a hell of a lot more over the last 3-4 weeks,
I'm
which
starting
has really capped what Crowder has been able to
Yeah.
do versus the early part of the season.
I'm
Very
starting
true.
Crowder in a few leagues this week, and I do not feel good about it. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm looking for ways to get him out
I
of.
think
my
at this
lineup.
point, I would ride with Pittman and Lazard.
Pittman and the Lizard.
Yeah, I would ride with Pittman and Lazard. This is Indy against Houston. I feel like it's a T.Y. Hilton blow up week. He has absolutely destroyed Houston. They don't have Bradley Roby, who has been their best corner all year.
Yeah.
So Hilton's going to be free to roam, but Rivers has looked Pittman's way a lot.
Yep.
So I think even if Hilton has a good game, Pittman can still have a decent floor week. So I think I would lean Pittman and Lazard this
Yeah,
week.
Pittman's floors felt really safe as of late. So
Yeah, Pittman and
I
Lazard.
just want to state for the record that Pittman and Lazard sounds like some sort of like superhero duo.
or
Sounds
a
like
law firm.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Sounds like a law firm.
There will only be one law firm ever in the NFL.
Ben Jarvis Greenells.
I love it.
You damn right.
Wasn't even that good.
It was a hell of a law firm, though.
It sure was.
He can score touchdowns.
That's right.
Cam Newton or Matt Ryan?
Never can.
Never came.
Oh,
And I hate-
so we've learned. We've learned now. We've learned? Okay.
Keep in mind, I hate Matt Ryan this week too. So the real answer is Kirk Cousins. But
Yeah. that's
Mixed
true.
sweet. Look, if Cam Newton's ever your choice, go like pick up Joe Montana off the waivers because Joe Montana's going to score you more points sitting on his ass on his couch watching football games. up in San Francisco than Cam Newton is actually going to be playing in a football game. So, yeah, I think the only two quarterbacks that have scored negative points this year are Cam Newton and Kendall Hinton. So let's just throw that out there into the ether. Yeah, yep. The quarterback that filled in for Denver last week.
You mean the wide receiver masquerading as a quarterback?
Excuse me. He was elite at Wake Forest.
Elite.
156.3 passer rating his junior year, Joshua.
Oh, Joshua.
Except passer ratings in college go all the way up to like 200 and something.
So?
Just saying. So 150 isn't as high as we want to think it is.
So actually, because I was interested, Jake Lutton, or however you pronounce his name, went negative. Robert Griffin went negative. Kirk Cousins went negative. Taysom Hill, Drew Lock, Jimmy Garoppolo, Logan Woodside.
Ooh, serve, Joe.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, my God. All these guys are great quarterbacks. Oh, no. Cam Newton's in the same conversation as Super Bowl starting quarterback.
What I'm getting at is there have been worse quarterbacks than you want to think.
Yeah, Cam Newton only has the 12th worst game by a fantasy quarterback this season.
Joe failed physics.
I didn't fail physics, Will, you ass.
I just like when Will comes and picks on Joe.
Will and I were in the same physics class.
I thought you were calling Faith an ass because I'm not looking at the chat right now. I was like, holy shit.
No, Will, you ass. I didn't fail physics. I got a B. I didn't fail physics. Will and I, we built our trebuchet together, and then we did bottle rockets on the last day of class.
You built your what together?
Trebuchet, you know that giant thing that medieval people threw stones at castles? That's what we did, except we threw water balloons at our teachers.
It's like a catapult, yes.
A trebuchet.
McSweet, to get back to your question, cut Cam Newton, go sign somebody off of waivers.
Yes.
Hang on to Matt Ryan. Don't play him this week.
Correct.
Whatever you said, Joe, is a font type.
Trebuchet? Literally look up trebuchet, but okay.
Yeah. Look it up. Spend your Saturday
I don't even know
learning about medieval castle siege weapons.
I don't care. I'm going to call it a catapult because that's what I called it. Are you flexing Debo over Gibson, Taylor, Drake, or Booker?
You're not taking Gibson out of your lineup.
Yeah, can you find a way to put Gibson in your running back spot and then put Debo in your flex?
Well, I mean, just get rid of Drake.
Yeah, I mean... over any...
I would play Debo over Drake.
Yeah. But no, hold on. Is he saying that all those guys are in his flex?
Sure.
No,
Okay.
I think, well, maybe.
I mean, if he did the whole zero RB, modified zero RB, then yeah, those could very well be all of his starting running backs.
I mean, he could have 2 running backs and 2 RBs in flex right now, and he can position them however he wants.
Unless they're all flex positions. It depends on how it's
Doesn't matter. You flex Debo over Kenyon Drake. Yeah. Easy.
I did see that Debo has and we brought this up on the show on Wednesday, the worst air yards of any eligible wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
1.7 air yards.
It's incredible. Love it.
All right. Ertz is available to pick up.
No.
Should he grab him?
No.
He's got Reed and Cooks.
No. Logie, don't do it. Terrible.
No, not at this point. I think the only way that you're starting Zach Ertz is if you're in like a 16-team league.
I'm not starting Jared Cook either, though.
Yeah, no. That's
if you see how that now, the assumption is maybe the tight end gets used more once Brees comes back. There's no guarantee Brees is back next week, even though he's eligible. That's a lot of ribs to have broken. Yeah. They are not using their tight ends with Taysom Hill at quarterback. So if we're just asking about picking up Zach Ertz over Jared Cook, I absolutely would. I'm not starting him. I'm starting Jordan Reed this week. So.
Yep. Yeah,
my stream of the week.
Jordan Reed this week.
I was gonna say I've had to pick Jordan Reed up in a few leagues because Jonnu was dubbed out.
Yeah,
so
that's a heartbreaker.
I'm rolling with you on this one, Ryan. So I'll let you know the results.
Well, just don't choose him over Robert Tonyan. That was. No,
Tunion's not. Yeah. He's already been rostered. So
no, start Reed this week, but feel free to cut Jared Cook. You should have cut him weeks ago. I understand he scores a touchdown every time you want to cut him, but I dug into this a little bit. They are not using their tight ends. I think they have 4 total tight end targets since Taysom Hill has taken over, which is a lot of freaking
teams. That's because the tight end is starting at quarterback.
Yeah. And then last week, what's the rookie's name? The kid from Dayton?
Adam Troutman.
Troutman caught the only ball and it was for like 8 yards. You want nothing to do with that tight end spot.
Yeah, I mean,
My boy.
dropping Cook, that's fine. I would not hate stashing Ertz just to see what shakes out because we know that Wentz trusts the tight end position. I mean, he's been throwing to Richard Rodgers.
And if you want to make an argument for Ertz this week, I don't. But if you do, I understand that Green Bay is great against the tight end. They're going to use Ertz if he comes back this week as a wide receiver. It's plainly and simply. You might end up seeing Rodgers and Goddard lining up in 12 personnel, and you might end up seeing Ertz on the outside as a wide receiver because clearly Carson Wentz fucking hates his wide receivers. Rest in peace, Jalen Reagor. It's just
the wide receiver coach came out and said Rager's getting ready to break out. I'm like, where the hell's this been the last 4 weeks? So
it's almost like TCU has never produced an NFL caliber wide receiver.
That's right.
Huh.
Almost
We've been
like
spoiled by all of these young wide receivers that have broken out.
First of all,
nobody wants to give anybody any patience anymore.
You don't you don't judge rookie wide receivers
about him being right.
Almost like Baylor has never produced an
and yet
NFL
Denzel Mims has looked good
quarterback.
this year. So
the one thing I will say is what the hell happened to Travis Fulgham? How do you go from being the favorite to just not? Like, it doesn't make sense what they're doing.
Defenses are paying attention to him and he can't separate.
Yeah, he never had the talent to begin with. He had the opportunity, not the talent. So
Also Alshon Jeffrey. So
yeah, and the playing Jeffrey has just been idiotic. So
the elite Alshon Jeffrey, I add. Elite.
He's never been elite. Jesus.
What's hilarious to me is Alshon Jeffrey in that offense is used like a tight end. He only matters in the red zone, and their tight ends are used like wide receivers. So everything's backwards in Philadelphia.
Okay, Standard League.
Yes.
Michael Thomas has obviously been a huge disappointment this year.
What? He's been great.
Sean's got a huge week. Does he trust Michael Thomas, or does he go with Shark Jarvis Landry or Michael Pittman Jr.? His wide receiver one is Keenan Allen.
I'm 100% starting Landry over MT this week. I'm down on MT. I understand he ate against Atlanta, and I'm going to guess these guys aren't going to agree with me. Landry is going to do very well against Tennessee this week.
Landry makes me nervous because we see this all the time where someone finally breaks out, and then we plug him in our lineups, and then he bombs. And Cleveland has not had any sense of consistency in their passing game at all. It's a great matchup. I like the matchup. And I think that they're going to have to throw the football to keep up. I'm just saying that Landry makes me nervous. I don't mind sitting Michael Thomas because we just don't like Taysom Hill's not throwing the football. It's really that simple. I think they're going to have to throw the football this week because Atlanta's run defense is better than people want to give it credit for. So maybe we see that sort of like 20-point game that we saw from Michael Thomas a couple weeks ago with Taysom Hill. But I think if you're looking upside, it's probably Pittman. But I still think I would keep MT with the floor because you have upside and floor with Keenan Allen.
In a standard, Michael Pittman. Because if it's PPR, it's Jarvis Landry, and that's no question. He's getting the most receptions out of all these guys combined at this point.
I think we can agree the answer is not Shark.
Nah.
Yeah, no, it's not. Shark is out. Pittman for me. In a standard, it's Pittman. Yep, Pittman and Keenan Allen. Throw it in there.
Okay. Steely is dropping by. Or did drop by. He's got Hunt, Montgomery, Robinson, Drake, and Edmonds. Pick 3 of those and a half PPR.
Always
benching 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Benching 2.
Bench Drake and Edmonds.
Yeah,
bench the Cardinals running backs.
Yeah, I think Montgomery's got a safe floor this week against Detroit.
Yep, can't bench Robinson, and I love Hunt Montgomery this week. So
yep.
Steely's offering some advice as a Steelers fan. He's telling you not to start any running backs against Pittsburgh. You will have a bad day.
Antonio Gibson seems like the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, I mean, worst case, he's going to find the end zone.
Hey,
It's just what he does.
Worst case, he has 3 yards per carry, but he carries the ball 25 times and then has 11 targets.
Yeah, you're not looking for an efficient matchup this week.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be efficiency. It's going to be the fact that Antonio Gibson is going to be getting 60% of the offensive touches again.
Steelers did lose Bud Dupree. Not going to kill them, but not going to help them.
That does no help in the passing. Excuse me, in the running game.
Okay,
because he is simply he's a speed rusher off the edge and he doesn't cover running backs. That does Nothing for Antonio Gibson.
This next one isn't a question, it's a comment, and it's gonna hurt me a
I
lot.
liked it. I liked
love
it a lot.
Dave.
So, Josh, that smirk.
Look, I've been on the Deontay Johnson hype train all year. I'm not ready to take any kind of victory lap. He's still wide receiver 30. Okay. But I said in the very beginning, I like his upside because of the target potential. He's second in the league in targets per game behind Devontae Adams. That's it. Like, he hasn't gotten the touchdowns because Claypool has popped the way that I don't think many of us thought he would. But Deontay's getting the looks, and that's all I can ask for at this point. I hope he has a great, last 3-4 games of the season.
He's killing it in the drops department, too.
Okay, so we're back to Debo. Are you flexing Debo over Gibson, Taylor, Drake, or Booker in a full point PPR?
Isn't this what we just asked?
I already answered that
No.
question.
Yeah.
I already answered that question. Next
Definitely over Drake.
question. Yep.
Oh, we did. Just kidding. I thought it looked familiar, but
Yep.
as a Pats fan, Pats or Chargers? I don't really
Pats.
Right? Moving on.
It's a
Oh,
coaching battle.
If we're talking defense, no, I'm going Chargers. I think Cam's going to give us those 2 turnovers.
No, he's saying
AJ Brown or Kirk?
he's saying is a Pat. I know McSweet. He's a Pat.
Oh, just for a straight up win.
He's
Okay.
asking who's going to win. McSweet. I said this because Vegas has this game as a pick'em. I said this when it was the Cowboys and the Washington football team when they were a pick'em, and I chose Washington to win at home.
What's a pickup?
You pick who wins to win
Pick
money.
who
You
wins
don't have to worry about
because
points. Or
the Vegas line is -0.5 point, which means
whoever wins.
at that point you're picking who's winning because
Unless there's a tie, because then
unless
you
there's
actually
a tie,
lose.
yeah. If there's a tie, the
We
team
all
who's
lose when
plus
there's
a half a
tie, yeah.
point actually wins you the bet, which is
Yeah.
nice, but that's very rare. But yeah, I said in the Washington and Dallas matchup, better coaching and better defense wins out in a bad matchup. New England has that in droves on that side. Yes, the Chargers offense is worlds better than the Patriots. Coaching is nowhere near as good, and the defense doesn't even compare. So that's why I have New England on the road.
All right, AJ Brown or
Brown.
AJ
That's
Brown.
not even
AJ
a
Brown
question.
by
AJ Brown.
miles.
Yeah, by miles.
okay. Lee is looking to stash players for the playoffs. Which teams have the best matchup coming up?
I'll tell you what. Let's answer other questions, and I'll go grab the fantasy footballers
Beautiful.
matchup rater, and I'll give you some positions later on.
Bang. There you go, Lee. Stay tuned.
You're getting
Ooh.
some premium stuff without paying for it.
Heyo! That's what we like to give our people. VIP treatment here at Club Fantasy. In a league where Sean does not have CMC, is Mike Davis droppable? He's only got 5 bench spots.
Negative.
Not until we know 100% whether CMC is coming back.
Correct. You missed
That's the
one.
only way that I would drop Davis. And even then, I still would probably hang on to him. I know the bench spots are limited, so maybe not, but you just kind of have to play it by ear because we saw CMC come back. People dropped Davis. Now CMC's out again, so they're scrounging to pick up Davis. So,
Yeah.
Again, you just don't really know whether or not they're going to keep playing him, if they're going to split the workload, which I don't think they will because they didn't when CMC came back. But I would, again, if you absolutely can stash him, do it. If not, then sure, drop him, but.
All right, so real quick, looking at quarterbacks, I don't trust him, but Jared Goff has an excellent playoff schedule. New England, Jets, Seattle. If anybody is dumb enough to drop Tom Brady this week, you want Tom Brady. Minnesota, Atlanta, Detroit. Alex Smith is up there. That's about it at quarterback. Running back, Titans have the best schedule. You're obviously not getting a Titan. Packers have the second best schedule. Jamal Williams could be fun.
And they've been splitting work with him and Aaron Jones, much to the chagrin of Aaron Jones managers.
I doubt anybody's cut Naheem Hines, but he has a great 14 and 15. You're obviously not going to get Jonathan Taylor, but they have a terrible 16. They have Pittsburgh in 16.
Yep.
Detroit Lions are an interesting one because the reports for DeAndre Swift are terrifying, just as a human being. AP saying he hasn't been the same person since he's gotten that concussion. So that makes AP and Kerryon Johnson a little interesting for the 14 and 15. Gio Bernard if Mixon's not back, and then if Myles Gaskin got cut, they have a great schedule as well. Wide receiver, it's Tampa Bay. This is going to line up with the quarterbacks, I feel like, a lot. Maybe Antonio Brown. I have a lot of people asking me if they should cut him this week. He's still seeing a ton of targets. Could be a good one to pick up for the playoffs. Josh Reynolds has had steady volume. He has a great schedule. The Bears, so Darnell Mooney, Anthony Miller. You're not really going to get a Bengals wide receiver. There's only one wide receiver in Washington that matters. Jets are an interesting one. They have the 10th best schedule, I think. And
we just talked about Merriman
Mims.
and Mims have been a lot more involved with Crowder.
And they are out there. I'm willing to guarantee that. Tight ends, we've talked about this. Irv Smith's been missing a lot of time. Kyle Rudolph has one of the best schedules. That's about it, unless you want to gamble on Houston's tight ends. The problem is figuring out which one is going to pop.
So I think Akins sees more time as a receiver, so I would go Jordan Akins.
There you go.
Also, real quick, throwback to when people threw 70 and 90% of their fab on Antonio Brown and Dearness Johnson.
Yep.
Throwback.
Antonio Brown has not been awful for fantasy purposes.
I mean, Dearness
Didn't
Johnson.
he only have like 2 catches for 15 yards last week?
Not
yeah,
awful.
I'm just saying the targets are there, though. You got to look at the opportunity, and he's
I agree.
So
I agree. Yeah, I mean they're definitely looking for him, but it's just it just feels like the safe option is Godwin.
Oh, 100%.
But his ceiling is capped because of Evans and Brown because they're throwing so much. But it's like to me, it's just like the targets for one or the other are going to pop.
Exactly.
Like 1 week it's Brown, 1 week it's Evans, and we never really really know which week it is. So
yeah, if you're gambling on a wide receiver 3 against Minnesota, Atlanta, Detroit, though, Antonio Brown's worth the gamble.
Yep.
I agree.
Okay, 2 things really quickly. One, I just saw that Vontaze Burfict was arrested in Nevada for battery this morning.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
This is my surprised face.
I know, right?
He's a nice guy.
Also, brief pause, I would like to thank LeGarrette Blount for his wonderful time in New England.
Blount.
Happy retirement, sir.
Oh, did he retire?
He just
He did, yeah.
I missed that.
Weird. I thought he's been retired for like 3 years.
That's what I was gonna say. That's always funny when
Just because you've been out of the league doesn't mean you've retired.
Yeah.
This is them officially announcing it, filing their paperwork with the league, kind of thing.
Oh, so this is LeGarrette Blount realizing he hasn't been relevant since he left the Patriots, and now it's time. Hey, I should probably.
Hey, he won a Super Bowl with Philly the next year, so
Yeah. How many Super Bowls do you have, Joe?
6. I have a World Series ring. Does that count?
I heard, yes.
I got a World Series ring, so I do have a championship. So, suck it, everyone.
But yeah, Lee, those are the guys I'd go for. Arizona, if you're looking for defense and special teams, has a great playoff schedule coming up as well. So,
Yeah.
Mick Sweet wants to know if he's picking up Mitchie T.
Yes.
and I think that's in response to the Cam Newton,
yes.
Matt Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Trubisky this week.
Imagine someone how much he hates Mr. Trubisky. That shows you how much I hate Cam Newton.
yeah.
Also, there is one faith from JB2124 that is a different one that is just above Sean's question in the.
I don't think it is, though.
It is different.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, he added Julio.
It is different. No, and he added Pittman. It's a different question.
Oh,
Yep, it's a different question. In a PPR, Gibson, Taylor, Pittman, Debo, or Julio.
I'm fully against starting questionable players, especially when they're game time decisions, because one re-aggravation has ruined your day. So I cannot start Julio in this matchup.
I'm out on Julio as well.
Yeah,
I think all
Julio
these other guys have great
has
matchups
been.
anyway.
Yeah, and it just sucks because the one time you bench him, Julio's going to stay healthy the whole game and he's going to pop. So
I go Gibson and Taylor. I assume
especially
Taylor-
with Janoris Jenkins out.
Yeah, I would go Gibson and Jonathan Taylor.
God, it's hard to bench Debo here just with what he did last week, but Ayuk should be back this week. I would also go Gibson and Taylor.
Taylor's going to have way more touches, and that Houston defense sucks. They are so
I mean,
bad.
pairing Taylor with Gibson, I think, is smart just because, again, the matchup with Gibson is tough. The floor I think, is still safe. Maybe the upside is capped, and Taylor has all the upside in the world.
Yeah.
And in a way, that week off probably helped Taylor because he was dealing with that ankle injury.
Could be,
he
yeah.
did not have COVID. Apparently, it was his girlfriend, so he was just a close contact. So all he
was
did
close
was
contact,
to heal up. So
Yeah, he tested negative on every test he had,
Yep.
so he's fine.
Oh, that's so sad. Sorry.
not for fantasy.
Not for fantasy.
No.
I'm sorry if
Fireman
Jonathan Taylor's girlfriend's out for fantasy. I'm not worried about that.
Yeah. Oh, bye, Josh.
Oh, Josh is apparently pissed about it.
Yeah. No,
There was
I
a
think-
fire in Manhattan that destroyed a 19th century church.
What?
Oh, that does suck.
What are you talking about?
I
Faith
was
is just reading.
That was-
Faith is just reading the news while we're doing our show. It's all good.
Okay.
hell.
I was thinking the other day, there's that huge fire at Notre Dame. I haven't seen their progress. I need to look into that.
Oh yeah, I've been there twice actually. Suck it.
Anyway, fantasy show.
Sam says happy Saturday. Hello.
Good morning, Sam. Well, I guess it's close to after. No, it's still morning.
Yeah,
It's
it's only
morning
11:45.
here.
Oh yeah, it's only
10:45 over here in the Central Time Zone.
Yeah, you're so cool.
Yeah, you. Hey Sam, Mr. RotoViz, appreciate you. If
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
follow Sam, you should. He drops awesome stuff like daily. So do
Yeah.
that now.
Absolutely. All right, in full PPR, are you starting Chase Edmonds or Giovanni Bernard over Juju?
Leave the spot open.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love Juju's usage of late, but
I would go.
I think I'd still go him over Bernard or Edmonds.
I would
Go
go
Edmonds.
Juju as well.
Edmonds.
So, fun fact on Juju Smith-Schuster, our friend of the show, Shane, who was on with you guys last night, actually just wrote an article. I don't know when he drops it. His buy low or buy bye on Juju Smith-Schuster. It's a really good read.
It's a great title. I like that.
Buy
Buy low or bye bye. I like it.
Yeah.
low or buy bye. I don't know if he came up with that, but whoever
Bye,
did.
bye,
That's
bye,
dope.
bye, bye.
Instinct down here in the corner.
Yeah.
Our resident boy band member.
I say he's trying to turn the Basement Boys into a boy band. I can't be a part of
The
that.
problem
The
with this-
Basement Boys boy band.
Hashtag most humble.
Okay, Josh used to know the entire dance and still refuses to do it.
Well, Josh can dance. I'll watch because I'm not singing or dancing, and Joe will sing.
Are you just gonna?
I
throw
can't
dollars
sing.
at
Are you
Josh?
kidding me?
I'll be that weird fat guy who was the manager and made all the money off of it.
You're like Jerry Heller. With,
Yeah,
NWA.
exactly.
Yeah. Except we are not NWA in the slightest. So
No.
No.
yeah, no, we are not. Mostly due to
Basement Boys.
talent, but you know,
Yeah, and a very safe upbringing.
yeah.
Can you trust Benny Stinks this week?
I assume that's Benny Snell.
Yeah. No.
No. Yeah.
Is
no.
Connor's not even confirmed out yet. Now he had COVID.
Yes, he tested
Okay,
positive.
then he is
for
very
COVID.
likely out. So
Yeah.
You got the room.
Their game is on Monday, I believe, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Pittsburgh's on
the
Monday.
early game on Monday, 4:00 kickoff.
Yeah, 5:00 against Washington. Okay.
yeah, I'm not starting.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's
4 o'clock Central
4 o'clock
time.
Central. That's my. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm not starting him. I would.
Yeah,
definitely
I would
start
not.
him.
Don't start him. Houston
Yeah.
has a good. Hold on, Faith. You missed a couple from Steven on YouTube. Juju's looking better. He wants to start him so bad. Everybody.
So
We
do
already
it.
said that. Wasn't that his? Oh, that was not his
No,
question.
that was
for
Sean's
Juju.
question. Yeah.
No.
I apologize. I thought it was the same person. Yes, start Juju. I'm fine with that.
To me, it just depends on who you're potentially putting over him, but
To me, it depends on if you really want to start somebody. Start them. You have to live with
that's
it.
true too.
That's right.
Or you
Very
ask
true.
us because we're smart.
But then if you say don't start him and he balls out and he really wanted to start him, he's going to feel bad because he wanted to start him and you told him not to start him. So
Well,
if you,
then
if you really feel like starting somebody, start them. It's your
Welcome to fantasy football.
Yeah, you have
The
to have someone
land
to blame.
of regret and regret only.
Nah, it's all about having someone to blame. My son, my son will never forgive you guys for me beating him 2 weeks ago.
Oh, Donovan.
Donovan, I just want to state for the record that it wasn't my fault. I didn't say anything. Blame this person.
Listen. 0.2 points is a stat correction. All right.
It's true.
Person.
Even better is we are likely to play each other in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, so he's
I'm
not
not-
coming back for.
I'm gonna
advice.
crush that little bastard's dreams all in 1 week.
Wow.
Brian, it's not a bastard. You're sad.
Well,
Not next week. I'm not.
Spoiler alert. I'm really excited because I have a first round bye
Ooh,
in some bullshit.
you better hope I don't end up on your half of the bracket.
I
think you are.
I got a first round bye in my big money league, so I'll take that, and I get
There
my
you go.
money back. High five myself.
I love
Next question. Excuse me.
Oh, Ryan, brief pause. Did you make the playoffs in SFBX?
No, failed miserably. 5 wins, couldn't score any points. So,
High five.
hey, what? Yeah. One other quick thing though. in the league where I'm crushing it on IDP, I saw you're overall in 7th place in the Fantasy and Frames League. So I was pretty happy to see Club Fantasy up there twice.
There's another league that I'm in with a crap ton of people that I just looked, because somebody tagged me in the sleeper chat, was like, I see you 2 women up there because like first and second are 2 females, and I looked and I was like, oh, I didn't
That's
know.
me.
You've been in first place all season. I was like, oh, okay.
Good job, Faith. All right, let's get to it. I do like.
Sean's
I was saying, let's get Steely's comment in there. He's throwing down the gauntlet.
That's
15
bold.
points in PPR. Hold on. I'm trying to decide if Steely wants to water bet me here, but let me look at my projections.
Steely, look, if they give Gibson 60% of the offensive touches like they did against the Cowboys, he would literally need to average 2 yards per carry, only have 2 receptions, and not find the end zone. Like that to me, if they give him 60% of the touches, there's no way he finishes under 15 points. And that's the only reason I think he finishes above that, is because they are going to pound him.
Steely, you can get a hold of me later. I'll take a water bet if you want to take a water bet on this. So if you look up the Fantasy Footballers water bet, 15 full PPR points, I think Gibson's over. So if you want to get a hold of us later and let me know if you accept, or if you want to do it in the chat, I'll water bet you on this one. I think AG is over 15 fantasy points.
And also, Donovan will be really happy to throw water at his
there you go. If I'm wrong, my son.
So it's a win-win
happy.
for everybody.
There you go. Exactly.
You make the kid happy, and then Ryan gets water in his face.
There you go.
I'm gonna say no.
If they expand it to 8 teams, yes.
Not with the way Cam Newton's playing.
No, not at all.
I'm so happy I've yelled at you guys enough to realize that
Yep,
Cam Newton
you beat
is
us into
a
submission.
bionic mess of a quarterback.
You beat us into submission. Thank you, sir.
Jesus.
May I have another?
God. No,
Are you
Terrible.
starting Big Ben or whoever starts for the Dolphins?
Ooh.
I'm
Sean?
fine.
I would
Fitzy.
go Fitzpatrick over Big Ben, but I
Yeah.
would go Big Ben over Tua.
correct.
There you go.
So it
So
depends
Fitz,
on-
Big Ben, Tua is how we rank them.
All right. Good morning, Marnie. If you can't go Swift, who are you playing, Booker or Gio?
Don't play Swift.
Librarian.
Play Booker. Do not play Swift. Like I said,
Yeah,
hearing
I think
the
he would
reports you're
play.
hearing,
I'd be nervous.
In a PPR.
yeah.
Booker.
Go Booker.
Both of these guys have receiving upside. Booker.
Okay. Sean's last question.
Ooh.
PPR league, huge week, and he really can't afford a dud from Nuke. And I'm pretty sure he's going to start Cooper Kupp in lieu of Hopkins. Is that a ledge he needs talked down from?
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk him down, Joe.
Cooper Kupp sucks.
I
There's
said talk him down, not push him.
I think Cup has the same probability of a dud as Hop does. So
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Hopkins has made Jalen Ramsey his bitch for years. We've seen it. Like going
Jalen
from
Ramsey is overrated.
going
Thank you.
from Houston to Arizona, Jacksonville to LA, like they're gonna start seeing each other even more. And Hopkins has absolutely abused Jalen Ramsey.
And Cup just went 2 for 41 last week.
Yeah, I mean, he traditionally has done well against Arizona. I have him as a downside this week because I just personally think it's going to be a huge Woods week, as Woods has he's over 400 yards in his last 4 games against the Cardinals. Like, he's absolutely abused them. The way that Jared Goff has been playing, I don't think that he's going to be able to sustain both of them this week.
I guess the question is, who are you starting over both of them? If you don't trust Hopkins and we're telling you to start Hopkins, who are you starting over Hopkins outside of Cup? I doubt you're starting one wide receiver. So
All right.
I mean, Cup has lived off of targets. He's not scoring the way that he has in years past, and he's getting the targets, and those targets have turned into receptions. I mean, he's catching 68% of his targets.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that to me is at least a safe floor. So I think that Hopkins has the upside, even though it is on paper a tough matchup. But you're not sitting Hopkins, and I would not put Cup in over him. I think I'd start both of them.
That's what I'm saying. Is who's the other guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people that listen to the show, that listen to us, and drafted Robert Woods over Cooper Kupp because
Yep.
currently Woods is inside the top 15 and Kupp isn't even
Bobby
in the top 20.
Bobby
Trees.
Trees.
So shout out to you guys and girls that listened and drafted those guys.
I like that if Woods feasts these next 3 weeks too, he could still end up a top 10 PPR wide receiver. So.
And that's what we talked about with
Exactly.
Mike Wright in the
Yep,
offseason.
that's-
Guess
We're
who
going to have to bring
challenged?
him back on in January and be like, so, Mike, how about that Robert Woods? Oh, hey, how about that Tyler Higbee?
I'll bring him on just for the views.
Just for the views. Yeah, no, that was something we talked about. Is Woods? I said Woods would be a 11 or 12 by the end of the season, a fringe.
And that's, I think, what he's at right now is 12.
He's at 15
Okay.
in our sleeper dynasty league, which is what I base our PPR off. But he's currently the wide receiver 12 is scoring 189, and that's Adam Thielen. He's wide receiver 15 is at 186.
I'm going to throw one last ditch effort because I think the trade deadline is today. Robert Woods is great. And Doc Ock, you should look at this trade offer I have for you because I fucking want Terry McLaurin and you need to make this happen. I know you don't watch our show, but if I say it enough, you're going to accept this trade before the trade deadline.
He finally declined my Jared Cook for a second round pick trade, which
and then he let mine go? That makes me feel good? Question mark.
which was 5 weeks after Cook had put up 3 straight double-digit fantasy point weeks. So screw you. I was trying to capitalize on that.
There you go.
All right.
Are you
Next
done?
question.
Are you starting Trubisky, Ryan, or Fitzy?
Trubisky.
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 Oh, I would start Fitz over Trubisky, I think. But
Trubisky.
Oh, I would go. Fitzpatrick, I think, probably has a safer floor than Trubisky, but Trubisky to me has all the upside in the world.
the correct answer is not Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
The pride of North Carolina, Mitchell Trubisky.
The pride of Mentor, Ohio, my friend.
The pride of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels.
Mentor Mitch.
Are you proud he's from Ohio? Because I wouldn't be.
That was his nickname when he was here.
Oh, that's cool. Glad he made it.
He got out.
Only the best people do.
There you go. I got out for 3 years, and it pulled me back in.
And then your wife said no.
Love you, Sean.
Sean, we appreciate
Sean,
you,
appreciate you, buddy.
Keep sharing
Seriously,
this with
Sean.
your friends.
The OG.
Yeah. Tell
Okay.
them we help you. Lots.
Going into the playoffs, would you prefer to
Great
stash your
question.
handcuffs or other people's handcuffs?
Other people's.
Yeah, look at who your playoff matchups are and pick up the people they need.
Yep.
That's the real dick move. That's a real dick move, but you should do it.
So I go the other way. I was interested to hear. Your starting roster is more important than their starting roster. So if you lose your running back and
So-
they don't lose their running back, you have no running back.
Or
So
if
hold on.
they pick up your
Yeah, but if
handcuffs,
your guys don't get hurt and theirs do,
That's the
you're
point.
coming out on top. And that's how I'm looking at it.
it's a
if-
crapshoot. Because what happens? If
It's
they
a great
pick up-
question. I had a feeling it would turn this way. So.
I mean, let's say they picked up your handcuffs and your guy gets hurt. You're now screwed because you picked up theirs and not your own. But
That's
then
okay. You're probably going to be screwed with your own handcuffs anyway, because backup RBs are backup RBs for a
So
reason.
let's go on the assumption that you have 3 RBs. I will go with picking up their handcuffs to try to screw them. But then are you changing handcuffs every week? There's 14 opponents. You have one of your own team. So
Mhm.
There's so
that
many
is a
handcuffs.
valid piece of advice, Ryan. Your team should stay the same, but who you
Just
play.
don't spend 70% of your fab on Dearness Johnson. That's the real moral of the story.
great question.
I was
David.
looking at his rostership percentage on ESPN, and it's down to like 0.8%. And I'm like, what 0.8% of people still have him
So-
on
Not
the
paying
roster?
attention.
So, do you remember when people were using all their fab on Dearness Johnson, and the guy in the corner down here, myself, said, "You're a moron if you spend 70% of your fab on
yeah.
a practice squad player."
Well, and then we even brought up the schedule was atrocious, and then when the schedule got good was when Chubb
was going to be back.
So
That's Dearness Johnson. Hey, let's go and get a practice squad running back. There's a reason they're on the practice squad because they don't have eyes. There's a reason that they're there.
you heard
All
it
of
here
these
first.
guys have
Dearness
skill.
Johnson has no eyes.
Yeah, all of these running backs that make it to the NFL have skill. The issue
That's
is
an insult to people literally without eyes. Just
I'm blind in
throw
my
it
left eye.
Fun fact, I guess.
Still there.
Wear glasses. I don't know what to tell you.
No, it can't be fixed, Joe.
Oh, hit it a couple times. Maybe that'll work. It's like
Come on,
banging.
damn it, work!
Yeah, it's like banging your remote on the
Yeah.
couch. When the remote isn't responsive, you bang the remote on the couch
There
to
you
make
go.
sure, just kind of wake up the batteries a little bit. Maybe that'll wake up your
Joe.
Just grab a hammer, smack your eye a little bit. It'll wake up your cornea. You'll be fixed in no time.
So someone the other day said,
Because look, hold on. It can't get worse, right? If you hit your eye, it's not like it's going to get any worse.
well, this is going to go along with this conversation. Someone
You
the
can
other
only
day
win.
said,
You can only win.
is Alex Smith the comeback player of the year? And I wanted so badly to be like, it was just a fucking knee. He's still a millionaire.
What's the leg?
Oh shit.
Are you like fully blind or just partially blind?
I can see that things exist. I can't read any letters or make out shapes or things like that. Very weird.
So again,
Perfect vision
Ryan,
in my right eye, though.
all you have to do, smack it with a hammer. Because it can't get worse,
Obviously.
right? You can't.
I mean,
No, it could actually get worse.
Okay.
Ladies
could
and
be
gentlemen,
Jeremy
I would like
Johnson
to
and
state
have
for the
no
record, please do not take medical advice from Joe or any of the
or anyone on this show. Do
We
not.
are not liable
ex-
for anything stupid. You
We
did.
are-
Excuse me.
We are
my
barely
father-
qualified to give fantasy advice. Do not come here for medical
Excuse me.
advice.
My father is a physical therapist, and he's in the medical field. I am the most
You
qualified
sound like-
here.
You sound like the dude from Step Brothers right now. Like,
Yep.
being a doctor is the family business. We are a house of learned doctors.
The Catalina
Your
wine
father's a
mixer.
physical therapist. That doesn't give you any right. to
Yeah,
give
it does.
Ryan advice about his eye.
Yeah,
He's
it does.
giving.
It's in
oh
the
my
blood.
God, we have questions. Let's get to the
It's in
question.
the blood.
I like this question.
Or do we
Would
have
you
questions?
prefer to lose a competitive match or win against an absentee manager who doesn't set their lineup?
Win
Dave,
no
if-
matter what.
Yeah, if there's money on the line, I would love someone to forget to set their lineup. Yeah. Are you
Win no
kidding
matter
me?
what.
Yeah, if there's $1,000 on the line, you forget to set your lineup, sucks to suck. Thanks for your money. See you
Win's
next
a
year.
win, no matter what.
Yep.
Mhm.
It literally just happened to me in my home league. Guy's an idiot. Didn't pull Adam Thielen out of his roster. Took the easy dub. Move on.
Yep. Teams play the Jets in the NFL, and they count it as a win. So you should count an absentee
Consider it your
manager as a
taco
win.
week.
There you go.
You watch the league.
Taco.
It's your taco week.
Yeah, taco. when he's
Anthony
not
wants to thank you, Josh, for Bobby Trees.
You're welcome. I mean, I have Terry McLaurin, Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, and my starting running back was Kenyon Drake because everybody else got hurt.
Yeah,
and this was before Antonio Gibson popped.
I say that's a fair trade, actually.
So I mean, yeah, Woods
I
has
don't
been
even know.
great lately while Hunt has sucked, but I've had Gibson, so it hasn't really mattered. So
Also on the Bobby Trees
topic.
pick,
Yes.
shut up.
That's a steal.
Marty
Yeah.
wants to share his humble brag. He got Bobby Trees for a 21 fourth and a 22 second.
Yeah.
Michael
Nice job.
Hendrickson wants to know in a full PPR, Ingram or Burton.
I
So
assume this
are we
is Mark
talking Ingram as Mark Ingram?
Or
Because
Or
it's
who?
spelled like Mark Ingram, not
Oh,
Evan.
Evan Ingram. I could not, because of the spelling, could not
Yeah.
figure out who we were
That's
talking
why
about.
I'm asking. Like, if it's
Great question.
Mark
I'm
Ingram,
gonna- I'm
then
gonna
Burton all the way.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume it's Evan Ingram
Yeah.
and Trey Burton. I would go Evan Ingram.
I would too.
I would also.
I like Burton's matchup, and I think he has that upside because we've seen it week in and week out.
It's Evan.
But yeah,
It's Evan.
okay, yeah, Evan Ingram all the way. He's been on
Evan
fire
Ingram.
of late.
And Sean's wide receiver one is Diggs, so you're clearly not benching him.
No,
Just getting to that, Ryan.
Hey, thanks.
Chester Bama.
Chester
Oh,
Bama 1, 2,
Chester
3.
Bama.
Nick Saban faux life.
Ugh. Nick Satan wants to know who to start at flex. Hunt, Zeke, Gabriel Davis, Akers, or Chase.
You had it at the start, Kareem Hunt.
yeah,
It's
Though I do like
Kareem Hunt.
Gabriel Davis, and
I
he may
was
come
about
up
to
here
say
in
the same
about
thing.
moment.
I like Davis.
Grabriel?
Yeah,
Grabiel.
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 Gabriel.
Gravy Davis.
Gabriel Ravis.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt. No doubt there.
And it was Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.
I'll see
Pats.
you Tuesday, buddy.
Go Pats.
What happens on Tuesday?
I'm doing a show with Dave and the guys from Fantasy and Frame. It's called Fantasy and Frames. I can't talk this morning. I believe it's called the Fantasy Playbook. I should know before I plug it. I'll give them a much better plug on Twitter, but it's going to be a great show. We're going to kill it.
As per usual. So it is that time of the morning.
It is.
That time
Well, it's
of the
actually afternoon for you guys.
Post. For the segment of the show I like to call "Put the Boys on the Spot," but they're not on the spot anymore because now they've started preparing.
But man, that first week you got us.
I was ready because I am continuing to do the same thing week in and week out. Check it as she asked the question.
So who do I want to start with?
I can tell you I'm still looking at my guys. So
Joe.
joke's on you. I already know who I'm.
I was going to say you're already ready, right?
Yeah, it's like
Ready.
even if I'm not ready, I can just stall for an X amount of time until I actually find the guys I
right
want. Like
now.
I'm doing
My
now.
God. He's
Josh.
incepting us.
Oh, I have my guys. I don't know why you're skipping me.
Because you took too long.
All right, so the safety this week that I have for defensive back is Cameron Curl. Fun fact: who does Cameron Curl play for? Everybody?
No idea. Never heard
Any
of him.
guesses? Any guesses? Any guesses?
Nope, none.
You literally have a 1 in 32 chance of guessing the correct team.
Hold on.
Cameron Curl.
Still not odds I like.
Better odds than the roulette table.
Kansas City.
Don't play that either.
Not Kansas City.
The Miami Dolphins.
Not the Miami Dolphins.
Wait,
Josh.
which conference? Which league are they in?
NFC.
Which team do they play for?
Which division are they in?
The East.
NFC East. Washington football team.
Dallas.
Washington football team.
Yes!
Good job, Ryan.
Cameron
1 in
Curl.
32 chance.
So this morning I'd actually look. So I had Trey Boston on a bye, and I have Taylor Rapp who is currently sitting on IR. So actually I needed a safety. Went to the waiver wire, found this guy Cameron Curl. Never heard of him before. He's a 7th round rookie out of Arkansas.
Hey, some people came out of the 7th round pretty well.
But he's been seeing a solid amount of play time due to Landon Collins and his Achilles injury. So he's been seeing a lot of play time. Since basically in the month of November, the guy boasted 2 23-plus point performances and has only had one performance under double digits, and it was 9.75 points. The guy has gotten, in the last 4 weeks respectively, 8, 9, 9, and 11 tackles. He's also seen 2 sacks in the last 4 weeks. They're sending him on blitzes. They're getting him involved in the defensive game plan. If you need a safety because your guys are hurt, or if you need a defensive back because your guys haven't been producing well, Cameron Curl is raking in tackles, and they're also sending him on blitzes. Yes, he is playing Pittsburgh, so it is going to be tough for him to actually get to the quarterback, but Washington loves sending a blitz, and anything over the middle, Cameron Curl is going to eat up, and he'll be the deep guy that's going to eat up those tackles.
Boom.
Bang.
Bang. Joshy.
The dinosaur, Frank Gore, was only rostered in 29.8% of ESPN leagues. Honestly, Devontae Booker was my upside play this Wednesday. Frank Gore on the other side probably has a better matchup. The Raiders allow the 4th most fantasy points per game to running backs. He's seen 10-plus carries in 6 straight games. The last 2 weeks, he's topped 15-plus carries, and he has over 10 points in both of those games. And his running mate, Ty Johnson, is 0 threat. He has 7 total touches the last 2 games. Frank Gore is going to get fed this week. He has a safe floor. You can do worse in your flex.
Yeah, my turn.
Ryan. Tell you.
We briefly touched on him. Love Gabriel Davis this week. John Brown's going to be out. Huh? Gabriel Ravis.
Gabriel Ravis.
No John Brown. Stephon Diggs is going to demand all the attention. Cole Beasley plays the slot, so Davis is likely to get the worst of the corners alone on the outside. He's not going to see a ton of targets because they don't throw the ball a lot, 4 to 5 targets at most, but he's very likely to score a touchdown. He has 4 TDs on the season on just 35 targets. Scored last week, and was the wide receiver 21 in fantasy, I believe it was. And then San Fran has allowed 12 wide receiver touchdowns this season. 5 of them have come to the non-primary wide receiver. So Diggs could still get his, but there's still going to be something out there for the non-primary. And Davis is available in 95% of leagues right now. So he's a great play if you're looking for a cheap wide receiver 3 with wide receiver 2 and even back end wide receiver 1 upside.
Nice.
Any parting words of wisdom, any parting thoughts, anything that you guys desperately want to say and have people hear?
I'll let these 2 idiots go first because I wrap up the show.
There you go. Kirk Cousins is going to break my stream of the week kiss of death curse.
Oh, God. All right, everyone sit Kirk Cousins. Everyone sit him. Fuck you, Ryan. You ruined it. Oh,
So
it's all
what
over.
you're saying is Ryan's stream of the week is kind of like Linda Godfrey promoting any player.
God, go.
Whatever.
No,
Even
stream of the
worse.
week at quarterback. Let's get this right.
Yes.
Okay.
My stream of the so here's the thing.
Go pick up my Glenn.
I'm not doing great with quarterbacks, stream of the week or overall. I'm not doing great with tight ends overall, but my streams of the week are hitting. And defense, I'm just fucking murdering. So we're going to keep that streak alive, except Kirk Cousins is the man. Week 13.
I mean, the other 2 times you've called him out,
touchdowns.
he's produced.
That's right.
He's been
It's
a
my
top
man.
5 quarterback the last 4 weeks.
He's the
It's a
curse
good
breaker.
matchup. Yeah. 2 of the guys that you identified in your streams at quarterback, there are plays for me in my confidence. Book.
Boom.
So
We're getting consensus now.
I'm with you on those.
Kira's going to pick him tomorrow as well, or this later on this afternoon, and everything's just going to go terribly.
Today,
Go Kirk Cousins. Go Vikings. Big Vikings fan this week. Woo woo.
Speaking of Kira's cash grabs, that should be out a little bit later today. I have to finish editing it, putting it all together after the show, and check out Drew's article, Rookie Buy Lows. Great piece if you're in Dynasty. My Confidence Place is on the website. Ryan's streams are on the website, clubfantasyffl.com.
So before Joe wraps it up, I just want to say next week's show is going to be really fun. Josh and I will actually be in the same location.
Ooh.
The mystery location.
With a mystery guest that I already know the location of.
Josh ruins everything. Just can't promise what I
Is
have.
it Santa Claus? Are you giving us clues with your mug right now?
No.
What?
You put your mug up right when you were talking about the mystery guest.
I'll give you a hint. It's gonna be a fire guest.
Oh, you sneaky bastard! Because I know who the guest is too.
I mean, we can't promise that they will be on the show, but
It's gonna be a fire location.
Oh,
Fireplace. That could be any.
that's
number.
right. You know who it's not going
Fire.
to be? My bastard child, because I'm playing in fantasy and I want him to
go.
lose.
Texas A&M is already on the board. I got the Aggies minus 6.5 today.
All right,
Here we go.
I got shit to do. Shut this show down, Joe.
No. Okay, last thing. Blurred Lines pick is out. Arizona Cardinals +3. Vegas has them down to now +2.5. Some books have them there. I would buy that 0.5 point if you can to get them to +3. I really do think that if they don't win, they lose by 3. So at minimum, you're pushing. I'm not as confident in them at 2.5. I'm more confident in 3 because I like the push. You just at least get your money back in that instance. Again, PFF only had them as less than 43% chance to cover. So one of the lowest I have picked this season. So hopefully the Cardinals can pull through. Kyler Murray is going to have a bounce back, hopefully, on the ground this game. All right. Next show, Wednesday, December something. 9th is the show. I don't have a calendar in front of me, didn't want to do quick math. But December 9th, we're going to have Casey Kasem join the show, writer with the Fantasy Footballers and Fighting Chance Fantasy, correct?
Yep.
So those are the 2 outlets. She's awesome. She joined us for our Women of Fantasy Football show. So she'll be joining us now as a guest on our actual fantasy football, no pun intended, weekly show. So we're super excited to have her on as our guest of the week. And if you missed Club Dynasty last night, you can go check that out. It was with Shane and Jeremy of Dynasty Trades HQ. If you like jokes that push the envelope, just fast forward to about an hour and 5 minutes into the show. But no, those guys were awesome. And then Tommy Garrett from PFN also joined us as well. Faith apparently dipped out early.
She also had things to do.
Yeah, she also, has internet. I'm just dragging this out so Ryan has to stay here for just a little bit longer than
You're
he
not
needs
breaking
to.
my heart.
But yeah, so if you missed Club Dynasty, check that out. Of course, we're back next week. Same time, same place, answering your start sit questions. We appreciate everyone that joins and asks us questions. We obviously can't do it without you guys, so we appreciate you. Always remember, defense wins championships, offense wins fantasy football. We'll see you on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch, live with Casey Kasem of the Fantasy Footballers. We will see you on Wednesday.